Good day, everyone. Khan here again. I am from Como Group, and today I want to talk about authorized user trade lines. I've been getting a lot of inquiry about authorized user trade lines, and some questions I'm getting too. So I decided to explain to you what an authorized user trade line is and how it can help your personal credit. Okay, so what is really an authorized user trade line? An authorized user is what it's saying. Somebody is authorized to use something. So let me give you some simple examples so it's be the easiest way for me to explain it. Husband and wife. Husband has a great credit card. Wife is trying to build credit. So what he does, he adds her to his credit card as an authorized user. Now she can use the card and he has the card. But that's not the only part that she can use the card. It is that line, that account, that credit card account, the age of it or when it was first issued, and whatever's on that card is now going to show on her personal credit. So again, husband and wife, husband owns a credit card, wife is trying to build the credit. One way to do it, he adds her as an authorized user, and whatever is reporting on that card to the credit bureaus will start reporting to her credit as an authorized user. That means if that card was a $10,000 limit and it was first issued in 2005, on that card will show 2005 and it will show the limit of 10,000, and whatever payments is open or due will also show. So now that authorized user is showing up in her credit, and depending on what situation she added it for, it will help her credit, but we'll explain to that. Now, another way it's done, let me use another example. Father and son, son becomes 19 years old, 19 years, moves out and has his own apartment. He comes over to dad and say, Dad, I'm trying to buy a car. Could you add me on one of your 2 or 3 of your credit cards so that it can help boost my credit? So the father agrees. He adds him to the cards, but he doesn't give him the card. He just adds him to the card, and that authorized user card is going to come to the father's house, and the father can activate it, and he keeps the cards. So the son doesn't get cards, he doesn't get a chance to use the cards. In fact, he has no account numbers or anything like that. So, but those 3 cards that he added, that he called in and he added his son to, will now show up on the boy's credit report. And it will definitely help his credit report depending on his situation. Now, not every credit card is a good authorized user, a good card to order or to put in a credit report. Well, let me explain this. So now that we understand what an authorized user is, the question is, what type of cards or what condition, what status must that card be in to make a difference to that person's credit report that you're adding it to? Okay, so here what is it? It is better when it's a high limit credit card. The usage of the credit card has to be less than 30%. Okay, better yet is if it's less than 15%. Remember, everything about that card is going to report on that other person's credit. So if you go over 30%, that is assumed as living off your credit. Now that other person is showing more than 30% and they're living off their credit too. So that is why authorized users have to be under 30%, better at 15%. The card can never be late, or could have never been late, because if it was late before, it's also going to show in the new person's credit as it was late. And the age of the card is better if it's 3+ years. 2 is okay, one is okay too, but it all depends on why you're being added or why you need that authorized user to be added to your account. Now, better is always look for people who have cards with high limit, where the usage is less than 30%. It's always been in good standing and never late, and it's 3+ years old. Because at 3+ years old, once you add somebody to that, it's giving them a high limit, it's giving them a very good exceptional payment history, and it's giving them 3 years of history. Okay, so how by adding an authorized user to your credit file could help you. Why do people use this technique to boost their credit? Here's how I'm going to explain a couple of situations and where it helps. If you have a brand new credit file, or you just finished you're doing credit repair, you have nothing on your file, a good way to start your file is to add 3 or 4 authorized users that's 3+ years old with good limits, then apply for starter cards or credit cards, because your approval chances are going to get better, your credit score is going to get better, and even though it's authorized user and not individual account, even though the account doesn't belong to you, some institutions are going to tend to approve you better and even with better limits. But in that situation, I will still start it with starter cards, but your limits and your approval will get better. If you're building credit, and same situation, if you're trying to build credit, you probably want to add 2 or 3 authorized users, then apply for the beginner card or the starter cards, which I do have on my website. Okay, also, not necessarily secured card, but unsecured $300 and $400 and $500 cards. That's what you want to do. Your chances of approval will get better, and some of them might even give you a bigger limit. Okay, where it also helps is, let's say you have been establishing credit and you have 5 credit cards, that's your credit cards, but they're all $300 limit, $500, $750, $1,000 limit. Now you want to take, you're in a certain stage of your credit building that now you're saying, I want to go for higher limits. You're not going to get higher limits with what you already have, $3, $5, $7, and $1,000, and going to apply now, and I think you're going to get more. You need age, so it actually depends on if these cards have age. The 5 cards that you have, let's say they only have 1 year age, but the highest limit is $1,000. If you want to start getting $5,000 or $10,000 limits, you need to add like 3 authorized users that's over 3+ years old with high limits. If you put the high limits, now when you apply, now you have 5 accounts of your own, 3 authorized users is now giving you age 3 years, and it's giving you high limit. What that's going to do, you're going to start getting your $5,000 and $10,000 approvals. Okay. Now let's say you might have established credit, but still your credit card limits are $5,000, $7,000, $9,000. If you want to start getting higher limit cards, you need to add maybe 3 authorized users with 30,000 limits and age, like 5-7 years age. What happens is the financial institution, banks that issue credit card, is going to mimic what the highest account is. So you already have pretty good credit. Now when you go and apply and they see you have a $30,000 card, even though it's not yours, you're just an authorized user, they're going to mimic it. They want a part of your business. They're going to say, well, they seem to have experience with dealing with a $30,000 credit card. I want to give them one too. So remember, that's another great way to start getting high limit credit cards. Okay. Now there is another good reason for authorized users is reducing your overall debt to credit ratio. Now, sometimes you're trying to apply for a credit card, but you're going to get refused because you are maxed out on your credit card, or you're using 80% of their total credit available to you. So you might have 5 credit cards and the total amount is $10,000, but you're using 8,000. That means you're running 80% on your credit cards. You trying to apply for another credit card, they're not going to give it to you. Because credit card companies, even though they extend credit to you, love to see you only use 15%. Between 15 and 30%. Because the real explanation of using more than 30% is simply, if you look at a credit report, you're living off of your credit. So for you to qualify, for you to reduce your debt to credit ratio, if you had, let's say you had $10,000 card, all your cards together was $10,000, and you were using 8,000, and you want to bring it on the 30%, so you need another 5,000 to bring it on the 3,000. If you add a $10,000 credit authorized user, it's going to bring your overall debt to credit ratio down to under 30%. Now you can apply for more credit cards. Okay, that's a great way to reduce debt to credit ratio so that you can either apply for more credit cards or whatever you're trying to do, or even personal loan. Anyway, personal loans, we'll talk about that another time. No need to get personal loans. There are other ways to get loans. The other reason people use authorized users is to increase their credit score. It will boost your credit score depending on your situation, sometimes even 100 points. Okay, so if you have no negatives and all of that, and you add 2 or 3 authorized users, you can see an increase from anywhere from 20 points all the way to 100 points. For example, if you have a brand new file and you put 3 authorized users, automatically you're going to have a 780 credit score. It's just a score. That don't make you very strong, but the score is high. Okay, now another great reason, all you mortgage brokers out there, you're trying to close a mortgage for one of your clients, and then you find out they have 2 little accounts. Maybe they only got 3 accounts, but they need 5 or 6. An authorized user is a great way of solving that problem. One of your clients got 3 lines, but they need to have at least 6. You add 3 authorized users, and and you satisfy the number of lines. And that's 2 things it does for somebody who's looking for a mortgage. It helps with the number of lines that they actually need to show in their report, and it boosts their credit score. Okay, and it's always worth it to add the authorized users, because naturally, if you're going for a mortgage, it reduces the interest rate you're going to pay. Now, we went over, I think, 8 reasons why an authorized user. Please play the video back if you missed any. But there are many benefits of an authorized user. All right, now, how do you get authorized users? There are 2 ways. You can either go to family or friends, or you can buy it from us, which is called really leasing it. We have a large inventory of people with great credit cards that can be used as authorized user, and you pay them a fee and they add you on. Okay, now you don't get the card, but it will report to your credit. So it's called, leasing authorized user trade lines. All right. Now, if you go to a family or friend, that is the cheapest way and the easiest way to get an authorized user trade line. It don't cost you nothing if you can talk to your family and friends. But remember, if somebody is adding a credit card to you, you just can't go to any friend and say, could you please, you got a credit card, could you add me on as an authorized user? It must fulfill 4 things. 1, so when you approach them, it will be, do you have a credit card you can add me on? What is the limit of the card? What's the age of the card? And how much are you using? How much percentage of the limit are you using? Because for it to fit me, this is what an authorized user has to be. You want a high limit, okay? It has to be a usage of less than 30%. And you don't want to be at 30%. Better yet, it's 25 or 23. Because the minute they go over 30, it hurts your credit, okay? And that the card was never late. Never ever was it late. And you want it to be 3+ years old. But if your friend got a 2+ year old, it's okay too. You understand? That's why authorized users, when you can even give me a call if you're looking for authorized users. Let me know what's your reasoning, and I can tell you what cards would probably fit you better. So anyway, if you go to a friend and family and they have one, which is the cheapest way, you don't have to pay nobody. Make sure they have higher limit, less than 30% usage. If the card was never late, and you probably want a 3+ year old card. Okay, 2+ is also okay, depending on what you're trying to do. Now, if you don't have any friends and family, or you don't want friends or family involved in it, you can simply go to our website, www.businesscreditsuite.com. I'll put it up here. Or www.creditboostdepot.com. We have a very, very large inventory of authorized users, and we have the most professional ordering system there is. So it's a very great way for you to see our trade lines and to order. All right. There was one more thing that I wanted to talk about is if you order an authorized user trade line from us, or you order from your friend, how long would it take to show up in your credit report? This is what it is. You've had a credit card, and you get a statement in the mail. That is called the statement date. Okay? So once you get that, once you get the credit card statement, if you read your credit card statement, it says statement date. And from that statement, that's when the date when the credit card companies are going to report. It's the day that you get the bill, and it's the day that they're going to put in for their reporting. So always remember this, that card will show on your credit report 5 to 7 days after that statement date. Remember that, 5 to 7 days after the statement date. So even if you order from us, when you go into our inventory, look at the statement date, because from that statement date, you must order before the statement date, and you will know that from that statement date, 5 to 7 days after, it must show on your credit report. Okay, and if it doesn't, just give us a call. But that will never happen, because we always try to be really good with our service, dependable, and guarantee our services. Okay, so remember that again. Go to our website. We have really a large inventory. If you need advice on what, if I'm available, you can give us a call. I'll try to find out exactly what it is you're trying to do and advise you what cards you should get. All right. Now again, we have the largest inventory. We have the most advanced ordering system. So if you need any authorized user trade lines, please go to our website, www.creditboostdepot.com. I'll put it up here. Okay. All right. Thank you all again. Watch for my next video. Please do me a favor, subscribe and like, and so that way you can see when I post another video. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you.